What's going on, everybody? Welcome into Cash It. I'm Howard Bender. Adam Ronis here by my side. What's going on, Adam? Super Bowl week, baby. Are you super excited for the big game?
Yeah, it's getting closer.
Are you done talking about it now for 2 flipping weeks?
I know, right? Yeah, let's just play the game already. But yeah, it should be a good game. Obviously, the line's very close. I obviously have a rooting interest here. I don't want to see Philadelphia win as a Cowboys fan, so I am rooting for the Chiefs. But I do think it's an intriguing game, and hopefully we get a competitive game, because I think the playoffs overall have kind of been overwhelming. We had the first really good weekend, but obviously the NFC Championship game was a disaster. AFC Championship game was good, but it's kind of been a little underwhelming overall, I would say, for the NFL postseason this year.
Yeah, the Eagles have had two of the softest, squishiest games around over the last, from the divisional round to the conference championship.
Well, yeah, I tweeted that out last, right after the game was over, and I got a lot of shit from Eagles fans, man. Holy shit. Because I said, has there ever been a team that had an easier path to the Super Bowl than the Eagles? And people took that as me hating on the Eagles, and it really wasn't. Like, I've said all year long that the Eagles are a really good team. They were my pick to win the NFC East before the year as a Cowboys fan, and it wasn't even alluding to the regular season schedule. I know they had an easy schedule, but I was talking about that. But they beat a Giants team that, come on, they overachieved. They weren't that good. Anyone knew that. And then they beat a 49ers team where both quarterbacks got hurt. And it's not to diminish their accomplishments.
Not only both quarterbacks, but those quarterbacks were the third and fourth stringers.
Right. So, and then all these Eagles, people disrespecting us, they give us no credit. Like, first of all, why do you care what anyone else says? And can't you just admit that it's the truth? It doesn't mean you guys suck. Yes, you guys had a great regular season, 14-3. You beat everyone you're supposed to beat. 49ers had a weak schedule too. The NFL is just not that good this year. So I know I'll say that a lot. Kansas City, I think, did have a tougher schedule though than both those teams. Obviously, the NFC was a little bit down. But it doesn't mean the Eagles stink. Yeah, they're top 3 in offense, top 3 in defense, but they really haven't been tested. It still doesn't mean that they're bad and they don't deserve to be there. And all the cry was, and it's mostly Eagles fans too. And then they're like, oh, you're a bitter Cowboys fan. Dude, it has nothing to do with that. I'm objective when it comes to that shit. You know that. I'm not a Cowboys cheerleader. I picked the 49ers to beat Dallas. I didn't think Dallas was going to beat them. So I've said this, I despise the Yankees. I had every Yankee starting pitcher on my fantasy team last year. So I don't take that bias or hatred of a team into my analysis or into my fantasy or betting game. But what I said was a fact. I mean, you brought it up without prompting me. We didn't discuss this. And you brought it up because I think the same thing. Now, maybe there were other Super Bowl champions that had an easier path. The Eagles, the year they got there in 2017, by the way.
Wait a minute.
They beat Case Keenum that year.
You're crossing the line.
Case Keenum that year from Minnesota was the quarterback in the NFC Championship. No, I'm just kidding, Eagles fans. You guys are great. And you won the Super Bowl that you beat New England. Great job. Give you credit. It's not about that at all, man. Like, so they did have an easy path. And look, win this game, and then, there you go. And why do you care? Like, why do fans care what other people say? Like, your team's in a Super Bowl. Enjoy it. Relish it. Enjoy the moment.
Yeah, well, I mean, come on. Do we want to sit, at the FSGA conference, I'm going to be moderating the panel on the role of social media and content creation, which, obviously will be a fantastic panel. But I mean, dude, social media is just, it's a fucking cesspool. It is. I mean, Twitter is dog shit. The trolls that are there are so crazy abundant. Facebook at this point right now, if you want to see what your grandma's, neighbor looks like at, Del Boca Vista phase 2, then you can see that. Instagram, I get too many like spam bots. I'm like, there are not this many hot women interested in following me on Instagram. So,
you're a stud, bro. Come on, give yourself more credit.
Right? There are chubby chasers out there, no doubt about it. I get that. I'm cuddly and lovable. I definitely am. But so I mean, it's just, social media just drives me just flipping insane on the whole anyway. But yeah, I mean, listen, it's fandom, and it's What's really funny is, yeah, I can't say. To me, there are fans of the game, and then there are hometown fans. And the fans of the game are those who are capable of looking at their team objectively. Okay. Then there are hometown fans, and their teams can do no wrong. And it's always their year, and there's hope, and there's going to do this. And if they win a game in incredibly sloppy fashion, and you say that they won it in sloppy fashion, they're like, oh no, you know what you're talking about. So I get that. I really do. I can imagine that, Eagles fans, you're lucky that they weren't like waiting outside your apartment, building, getting ready to like chuck batteries at you.
Yeah. And then someone gave me like a stat, I guess, of postseason success. And the Eagles were up there with some of the best teams ever. I go, okay, I guess their Eagles are one of the best teams ever. Got it.
Yeah. The New York Jets are undefeated in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean,
you can take so many
cherry
stats
pick anything you want
to go any way you want. You can take stats and skew them the way you want it to go.
It's unreal. I can imagine that really just riled them. Because let's face it, though, Philly fan bases, they get uppity. They definitely get uppity. Philly, to me, is like Boston South. And everybody from Boston hates me for saying that, and everybody from Philly hates me for saying that. But if I'm picking two cities where the people kind of remind me of the other people, yeah, it's that. Boston very much reminds me of Philadelphia. They're both rich with American heritage, Adam.
Yes.
And certainly nobody there is an asshole.
No, not one person.
No. That's why Bill Burr, all of Bill Burr's fame came from that one moment where he was doing a stand-up show in Camden, New Jersey. And then he just destroyed the crowd. He destroyed Philadelphia, and he just ruined them. And that's why Bill Burr's famous right now. But if that moment did not happen, because that moment was, lauded by every comedian in the world, and and the whole thing went viral, and that's what put Bill Burr on the map. He was definitely. I'm not saying that he wouldn't have had some sort of a strong rise to fame on his own, but that moment right there of just shitting on Philadelphia and the assholes that are in there, put him on the map. I love Bill Burr. I don't know.
Oh, he's one of my favorite. Oh yeah, I watch all his Netflix specials. Yeah, he's phenomenal.
So good, so talented.
And he's like me. He's gonna get married he got married at 50, I think, and then kids later. So.
Really, I love the fact that you're holding out hope that you're gonna get married someday.
No, it'll probably happen. I just don't, it might be later in life. That's all.
You don't make enough money to marry later in life.
It's
not with your taste in women.
It's not. What does that mean?
That means you like younger girls.
I do.
Yes. Well, when you're 70 years old, Adam, you better bink a fucking GPP,
dude,
or hit like a huge, crazy long shot single game parlay. If you're gonna want to be, with the 20-year-olds, then
I didn't send you this, but there was a headline the other day. I still have it, right? I didn't delete it. Oh, please don't tell me. Oh, I'll definitely find it. Where is it? Oh, did I delete it? I'll find it. Oh, there it is. Feeling judged. A 24-year-old woman marries an 85-year-old guy who is 13 years older than her grandpa. And it's, I'll send you. I didn't give you the exact specifics because people might judge me on it. I'm actually going to text it to you right now.
I'm going to text it to you. I'm not even going to put it on the computer.
I just texted you, so check your phone. That is me, probably in the future. But no, I'm not talking in the 70s. I'm talking more maybe 50s. You get to the point like, all right, I had my fun. I need to compare yourself. That is me, right?
You put a ponytail on that old man, and yeah, absolutely. That is definitely you.
Yeah, someone sent it to me like, this is you. I'm like, it is. And I started sending it to other people. I'm like, look at this is me.
I mean, I'd like to know what this guy has in his bank account.
Yeah, I'm sure he has money. You know what? I wouldn't care if I'm 86 at that point and I'm bagging a 24-year-old. Hey, take my money, man.
Dude, if I ever reach 86, there's no way I'm still having sex at that age. It's just never, it just won't work. It won't work anymore. It'd be like, like throwing a piece of loose, spaghetti at her or something.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. You might get excited just seeing her start to unbuckle her top, and that's it. You're good.
Oh, well, that happens to me with my wife anyway. My wife shows like a little bit of cleavage, and I'm like, all of a sudden, I'm 13 years old, and it's like, I gotta go change. I gotta go change my pants now. Shout out to my wife for still being able to do that for me, huh?
Yeah, good job by her.
Sorry, honey. I wish they lasted longer. Oh well. What are you gonna do? Can't help it. Sometimes I just get really worked up. How did we get onto this topic of conversation?
It always happens. It always happens.
It really does. Should we rein it in, or should we just go really off the rails here?
It's up to you. You're the conductor. I'll follow.
Choo choo. I mean, damn, I would, you know what? I mean, it's so funny too. I'm so talked out about the Super Bowl right now. I really am. I mean, it's been, again, that's the whole thing, and I brought this up on the show with Jim Bowden today. I hate 2 weeks in between conference championships and the Super Bowl. I absolutely hate it just because, I mean, how much can you dissect one game like this and whatever. But for the same token, like this Super Bowl, I think the 2 weeks probably did wonders for Mahomes' ankle. I'm sure it's really helped Jalen Hurts in the shoulder. The wide receivers, I mean, Mecole Hardman went on back onto IR, but all the wide receivers got healthy for Kansas City. That these teams are actually coming at each other with full strength. Like it's not, we're not sitting there worried about, how much hobbling is Mahomes going to do and what happened to Juju's, knee and where are we at with that? AJ Brown's been a little dinged up also with the hip. So I feel like, I'm torn here now. I don't want to go back on my belief that I think, 1 week in between is enough. But yet when we see two teams right now, and it's two of the top QBs in the game, it's the two number one seeds from each conference. And these are two high-powered offenses. The Eagles' defense is no joke. So, like I'm torn there with whether or not I should be happy with the extra week or just annoyed still, because here we are, you and I recording Wednesday before the Super Bowl, and we've literally spent the last, 10 days talking about all this?
Yeah, I think from a content media perspective, it could get beaten to the ground because you're trying to find some different topic every day. And we're talking about some stupid props like national anthem and coin toss, stuff that we never talk about, right? Yeah. We don't bet on these things. And what's Rihanna's first song and her last song? And, there's an insane amount of props that you can bet. So I think that's what it is. It's so much the Gatorade color. I mean, we could go on and on with the ridiculous props that are out there. So, yeah, I mean, at this point, you just want the game to be played.
Should we go through some of these ridiculous props? Do you want to go? Do you have any favorites?
And with those props, no. I
don't mean those. I mean, listen, go to fantasyalarm.com/big game, and we've got our free Fantasy Alarm Super Bowl contest, and that's got the props in there, like what's Rihanna's first song going to be, and what color is the Gatorade going to be? But then we also obviously string in a bunch of, mid-range, like player props that we're looking at there. So are there player props that you have an affinity for?
Yeah, Jerick McKinnon, longest rush under 8.5 yards. We've seen he just hasn't been getting a lot of carries. He had the one game against Jacksonville where he had 11. And he's barely gone over this year. His last few games, longest run 4.77, 4.5. He had a 26-yard run against Houston, but they're a bad run defense. We know Philly's good. So he's only gone over this about 4 times this year. And again, I just don't see the volume being there. Clyde Edwards-Helaire could be active. Pacheco gets most of the run on the ground. It's a tough Philly defense. So if McKinnon is going to be involved, it's in the passing game. So I don't see him breaking a rush that long. I got it at 55.5. I think it's 60.5 on other books. Miles Sanders over rushing yards. It was 55.5 on what points bet, I think that was on Tuesday. But Sanders usually does very well against defenses that are not in the top 10. And Kansas City's not. And I know we've seen Gainwell get a lot of touches the last two games, but those were blowouts. Sanders was dealing with a little bit of a knee issue. They probably wanted to do a little maintenance with him.
Yeah, but I kind of, I look at that because it's really interesting because I'm kind of on the opposite side with Sanders because I don't feel like he does enough outside zone work. I think that I feel like they use him between the tackles a lot. And I don't necessarily know if that's the way to attack the Chiefs defense with the run. I feel like you want to, because you got like Frank Clark on the outside. You've got, was it Justin Houston coming in as an edge rusher? That I feel like, to neutralize those guys, you either run it to the outside, you take it to the outside and hope the guy, either turns the corner or you let him over pursue and then you just kind of drop it into Kenneth Gainwell there. So that I guess we're just on the opposite side of that. I get what you're saying. That I think a lot of people are also going to be in on Gainwell because of the touches. You like Sanders on the over what? Over how many yards?
55.5.
Wow. That's actually gone down because the last time I looked, Miles Sanders was at 59.5 on DK Sports.
No, on some other books, he's like 60. But it was 55.5 on points bet on Tuesday. Let me see what it is right now. Oh no, now it's 60.5 and 61.5 on FanDuel. So, but it was, but yeah, I mean, he's averaged 4.9 yards per carry this year. And he's gonna get the football. He's got the 2 weeks to rest. I mean, they didn't need him. San Francisco's a tough matchup. I was on the under on that. And he was 11 for 42. Giants 17 for 90. But against the weaker defenses, he tends to put up big numbers. And I see him getting 12, 13, 14 carries. Look, Gainwell, I think, will be involved a little bit. We've seen him come on, but I think a lot of that was the blowouts.
Yeah, I definitely think that, if you're going to spare the wear and tear, it's why I don't think Jalen Hurts was doing a whole lot of rushing either. People are like, well, what about his shoulder? I'm like, yeah, but I don't think that they really, they needed to put him at the risk.
No, they were so comfortably ahead. And I do like their receivers too, with Brown and Devontae Smith, their props. I mean, that's the one thing about Philly. You know where the ball's going. It's basically three guys. And this is a game where Philly's played from ahead basically the entire year. This could be a game where maybe they're trailing and they're going to have to pass more too. You also have to go with what you think the game script is going to be. If you think it's going to be a low scoring tight game, then obviously you're more on the unders. But I think there will be points put up in this game. So I see, we know AJ Brown's had two really down games, but
but they haven't needed to throw.
Exactly. And Devontae Smith is like 60.5 too. I mean, that dude has been balling out, man. So I like the two receivers there. I mean, Kansas City's tough because, everyone's going to look at Kelsey. Kelsey, anytime touchdown. Mahomes' numbers are really high. Is Juju going to play? And Tony, we think they are. But, that's what's amazing about Kansas City, though, and Mahomes, man, because of the four teams that made the championship games, he had the worst weapons of all four of those teams. And he's the guy that you're most scared about. If you're picking Philly in this game, you're definitely shitting yourself because you don't want to bet against Mahomes as an underdog and Andy Reid with 2 weeks. That's the one thing. Like, to me, if you look at the rosters, Philly has the better overall roster. But, like, they have Mahomes and Reid, man, and they've been there before. And, look, I thought Kansas City might got knocked off this year because I just thought they didn't have enough. But Mahomes just makes it happen, man.
Mahomes just makes it happen. That's the best way to sum it up, to be perfectly honest. I listen, I'm taking the Chiefs and you're giving me 1.5 points. I say thank you very much.
Yeah, I agree.
Just,
I don't feel strongly. I don't think I'm going to bet on the side. If you said what's your pick, I'll say Chiefs plus 1.5, but I don't feel strongly about it.
I mean, listen, I mean, how strongly can you feel about it when everybody's sitting there and, I mean, and you like doing the analysis yourself, that Philly's offensive line is ridiculous. You know that Philly led the team and led the league in sacks this year. Their defensive line and their pass rush is absolutely delicious. We know this, we know what Jalen Hurts has done. We know how much of a stud AJ Brown is. But you know what? What did everybody knew at the conference championship also how great Joe Burrow is, how amazing Jamar Chase is, how they can run the ball, in the second half and just hold that lead. T. Higgins is a number 1 on any other fucking team, but you put him on the Bengals and he's number 2 behind Jamar Chase. Tyler Boyd, Hayden Hurst was coming on strong. They were playing at a whole other level that nobody else was. And everybody was like, Bengals, 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 Bengals. And exactly what you just said. You're going to give me the Chiefs, Mahomes as an underdog. And I know the Chiefs were favored in the game against Cincinnati, but with the way everybody was just all in on the Bengals, you know me, man, I'm going the other way and I'm taking the Chiefs. And we talked about that for the conference championship. And I feel like we're in that same spot right now where everybody's like, there's just so much greatness about the Eagles, and there's so many question marks still surrounding the Chiefs.
Yeah, which is why I think you see the Eagles favored. People are like, oh, the Chiefs wide. It's not like, does it even matter with the Chiefs wide receivers? I mean, it's been this way the whole year. I mean, right? Juju hasn't done
Patrick
much.
Mahomes, he's not going to do anything without Tyreek Hill. He's going to be terrible.
I mean, it's insane, man. Like how just whoever's out there, he produces, even on a bad ankle. It's crazy, man, what he does.
Made Marquez Valdez-Scantling look like a fucking all-pro in the conference championship.
That throw on that touchdown was all him, man. I mean, they had Kelsey on the left side, and you saw the safety coming over. Like, that was all him, man. Just the little things when you look at the breakdown. That was just all Mahomes. Made a perfect throw, and he obviously prayed that MVS can catch it because that doesn't happen often, but you give him credit. He was in the right spot, made the catch, but that was all Mahomes on that touchdown, man. So, yeah, it's scary to bet against Mahomes when he's a dog, even if it's only 1.5. It's just still scary.
Yeah, I hear you. The bets that I laid down, I took the Chiefs plus the 1.5. I took the over, and I got the over was 50.5. The line was 50.5, and I took the over because I kind of feel like this has like that, like a 27-24 vibe to it. And so, that's kind of where I'm leaning for the game itself. For props, I took AJ Brown over 72.5 receiving yards.
Mm-hmm.
I took AJ Brown at anytime touchdown at plus 110. And then here's what I'm going to do. You know what? I was going to I meant to text my guy earlier in the afternoon because I wanted to have the odds for it right now for you, but you can look them up right now, right? Can you you look up a quick little parlay for me?
Sure. Let me open the book.
Yeah,
what you got?
I want AJ Brown first touchdown.
First touchdown. Okay, there we go.
That's like plus 950, right?
It is first touchdown AJ Brown plus 900 on DK.
All right, that's good. Plus 900. Can we parlay that up with the? Got to go to the novelty props and go to jersey numbers. That the first touchdown scorer jersey number is under 11.5. I believe that was like minus 125.
All right. There's so many of these.
You might have right across the top. It might say jersey number. Let me go to it also and look.
I don't see it anytime.
Because I'm in California.
Let me do novelty props. Coin toss. Nope, it's not. Gatorade color MVP jersey number. There it is. Okay, so Jersey number, first touchdown under 11.5, you said?
Yeah.
That's minus 130. So if you parlayed that, they don't allow you to parlay it. DraftKings weird like that. They don't let you to parlay some stuff. It feels like FanDuel lets you parlay everything. And FanDuel, I mean, I notice with DraftKings sometimes this happens a lot. I mean, I don't know if they have it under the same game parlay, because a lot of times you have to do that.
Wah, wah.
Well, why didn't, I mean, you're getting plus 900. Just go with that solo.
Oh, I know. I like getting a little greedy, but yeah, I mean, that's definitely, I kind of feel like that's, I mean, I'm very much in on AJ Brown. I really, really am. And, I mean, you can look at the, at the breakdown too. Doesn't matter if it's L'Jarius Sneed or Trent McDuffie on, in coverage. Chiefs ranked 31st in the league in DVOA against opposing number 1 wide receivers, allowing an average of 81.2 yards, receiving yards to them.
That's crazy. The first touchdown scorer, Jalen Hurts is favored at plus 650. Sanders is next at plus 700. Then Kelsey at plus 700. Pacheco plus 800. Brown plus 900. Devontae Smith plus 1,200. Wow.
Interesting stuff, right?
Yeah.
I mean, come on. That's what was it? Craig Mish said that to me one day. He's like, prop bets is like opening up a tube of Pringles. You can't just eat one, and the next thing you know, you're at the very bottom and there's nothing left.
Yeah.
Gotta be careful with that. I mean, listen, I get it. It's fun. I mean,
look, you see
it depends on what you're putting on these things.
Exactly. I mean, we always say you got to bet responsibly. Don't bet more than, I always say, no one wants to lose, but you got to bet what you're okay with losing. So if you happen to lose the bet, you're like, all right, well, it didn't cut into my rent or my food, or, it's supposed to be, yes, we will all want to win big money. Part of, it's part entertainment. Not a lot of people are doing this for a living. There are only a few, and everyone who says, yeah, I'm making tons of money, they're probably lying to you. This is not easy. This is not easy. Nothing is a lock.
Nothing is a lock. No, it's not. I mean, there's definitely, I've had a lot of conversations. I feel like, these conversations are going to pick up even more at the FSGA. Another panel I'm speaking on is the convergence of fantasy and betting content. And, and this just with the guys who are doing all the betting and stuff like that. I mean, there is, you really got a lot of self-control. Like, it's way too easy to get caught up in things. And it's way too easy to just turn around and be like, oh, well, I'm just putting $10 on this. Oh, I'm just putting $10 on that. Because the next thing you know, you've probably got, a couple of $100 laid out on bets all across the way. And, I mean, if you lose, what are you doing to yourself? So just be careful. Responsible wagering, people. That's what Adam and I are all about.
Yeah, I was watching TV and they were giving out a same game parlay with like 8 props for plus 5,000. I'm like, oh, this is great.
Oh, jeez. Dude, I was reading it. There was an article. Did you see the article on ESPN? I'm not usually a reader of ESPN, but it was a great article on the fact that people like the same game parlay is the most popular. And it also happens to be the most profitable for the books.
Oh, yeah. I mean, so DraftKings has these same game parlays that are risk-free for the NBA. I do them once in a while because they'll give you back, depending, I think, $10 back of your bet. And I don't win all the time. I lost one last night by 1 rebound. I had Ja Morant over 6.5 rebounds and he got 6. So that was the one that cost me. So, yeah, I mean, if they're going to do risk-free, I'll take a shot. But, yeah, I mean, the same game parlays are just so appealing, but you're taking anywhere from 2 to 5, 6 legs, man. It's hard enough to win 1 leg. So, yeah, the books love it. They're definitely – and I think FanDuel is doing, I think, a risk-free one for the Super Bowl. I know they have a for the TNT games in the NBA. So, it is real appealing. But you got to be real careful, man, because you just can fall into a hole where you're like, oh, okay, $10 to win 40, 50 to win 180. Oh, that's not bad. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, wait, I'm down 200. How did this happen? So yeah, I get it. It's appealing because you're like, oh, this is not that bad. I can hit this one. And like I did one last night for the Thunder Lakers. Anthony Davis, like 25 points or more. He had a great matchup. Dude had 13. He took 9 shots from the field. Like,
he was terrible.
Really?
Yes, he was terrible.
Yeah, it's just like, really? Okay. So, dude, I had the worst beat last week. We talked about it on this podcast. I think I talked to you after that I hit. Remember I said I had John Morant plus 850 for a triple double?
Vaguely, yeah.
And I'm like, oh, he just cashed it. I think it was after we finished the pod.
Oh yeah. It was right after we finished the pod.
In the third quarter,
talking, and yeah.
You know what happened, bro? They took a rebound away, and he finished with 9 rebounds, and I lost. And I saw the play. I don't know how they took it away. And the same night, James Harden, and I didn't bet on him that night. They took a rebound away from him that cost him a triple double. Dude, that was his fucking rebound. I was like, this is a fucking joke, man. Because I bet you people were, because someone the day before hit a triple double parlay, 3 legs, LaMelo, Jokic, and someone, and Ja. So I think people saw that ticket circulating on social media and said, oh, fuck, I'm going to do this. So I'm not going to lie. I'm like, all right, let me do a triple double tonight. And I was like, John Morant, no Steven Adams. He's rebounding more. He had hit 2 in a row. It was a good matchup. And he should have had it early third quarter. And that motherfucker didn't get a rebound the rest of the way. I couldn't believe it. I never tweet shit out. And I tweeted out, hey, gave this out today on the Better Sports Network. John Morant plus 850. It cashes early third quarter. Now I look like an idiot. That might be the worst bad beat I've had in my life, bro.
Yeah, I mean, for a stat, you lost it on a stat correction.
Dude, the NBA account, John Morant, 3rd consecutive triple-double. It was tweeted out and everything. And then they take the rebound away, bro. And then he doesn't get another one. I was so pissed off that night, man.
Damn. I'm glad it all happened after the pod. You would have been one grumpy son of a bitch.
Nah, Shannon would have had to click that. She's like, damn, I know we're allowed to have profanity here, but this is too many F-bombs. We're going to have to edit this out.
Listen, I don't think Shan's ever hit the censor button on it. I don't think she's ever bleeped anything. Yeah, I think this is it. This is it, folks. This is just, if you got sensitive baby ears, I'm sorry, but you're talking to, I mean, well, Adam's over 40, right? You're over 40?
Yes, I am. Mm-hmm.
And I'm over 50. And we both fucking grew up in New York. So, right? New York City. We're not talking about like, oh, yeah, I grew up on the, in upstate New York. No. We grew up in the city. And so we got mouths on us. And that's the appeal of this fucking podcast. Damn
Keeping it real.
Keeping it real. 100%. 100%. Somebody asked me about that. They were like, how would you describe your podcast with Ronis? And I was like, just imagine that you're sitting there and you're like eavesdropping on 2 dudes sitting at a bar drinking and talking sports. You pick up, back in the days, Adam, when we had home phones, you remember those days?
Yeah,
and you would like pick up the phone and you just be like, I'm on the phone.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, sorry. And you hang up. Like, if you just picked up the phone and listened in on the conversation, I feel like that's what it is. We try to, speak to the people out there and hope that they do things like responsible wagering or, tail some of our picks or whatever the case may be. But I felt like I thought that was a pretty good way of doing it. Would you describe it this in a similar fashion?
Yeah. Entertaining as well. But yeah, just
of course it's entertaining.
Definitely.
I mean, we're not Tom Segura and Bert Kreischer doing 2 bears, 1 cave. But have you ever listened to that?
Considering the rest of the industry, there are some people that you just like could fall asleep to. No disrespect.
Just because you say no disrespect doesn't mean you can say whatever you want.
I didn't say anything that bad.
No, dude.
There's
Listen,
people that agree with me.
I totally agree with you. I've listened to podcasts where it's like worse than NPR, and and which is why it's always like, and looking at the data here, and he's got a BABIP of 310, and
his X slug is 810. But if he could lift the fly balls a little bit more, I think you could see improvement this year.
If you could improve that launch angle, just even if it's just 2-3%.
Now a word from our sponsor.
Yeah, I've definitely listened to those. Yeah, it's like when you're looking for like a soothing book on tape to go to sleep to.
Maybe that will help cure my insomnia.
Are you dealing with insomnia right now?
I've been up pretty late lately, 4:30 a.m.
Are you making noise for your downstairs neighbor?
No, I'm not. Dude, that's unbelievable, man.
I feel like
if you're listening to this podcast, hi.
Hey, how are you? I've heard all about you.
I stalked my Twitter before, so I wouldn't be surprised.
Oh, really?
Yeah. In one of the letters, it was a picture of my tweet saying I heard noise at this time. And I'm like, does this woman know how Twitter works? Do you think I screamed that into a microphone? It was like, a tweet during an NBA game. And, occasionally if I'm watching a game and I'll give some analysis or some thoughts. And in one of the letters, it was like, and I heard noise at this time. And it was like, my tweet at like 10:32 p.m. or whatever. I'm like, okay, I guess you don't know how Twitter works. My typing was really loud at that point. You heard my fingers. Oh, what a world we live in.
Right.
Oh my God, I heard that noise. Keep it down, you thug.
I could just see you're like wheeling your desk chair around, being like, "Ooh, it sounds like she's in the other room. Let me go over there now." and drop a bag of ball bearings on my hardwood fucking
floor. I don't even
floor.
have a desk chair that wheels too. That would be even great if I did. I kind of wish I did at this point. I'm getting blamed for this shit. I might as well fucking make noise.
Oh shit! Have we talked about that here on the podcast at all?
I don't think so. No,
I don't think so. Adam's having some neighbor issues.
Claiming I'm making a ton of noise intentionally at all hours of the day when I am like one of the most quiet people in this building. I live alone, no kids. 80% of my place is carpeted as per the regulations here. My TV is hardly ever loud. It's insane. I never have company over. I only have, if I'm dating someone, come over. That's it. So, and there have been no complaints about those noise when that's probably the loudest noises. That's another story. But yeah, I don't have like 5 friends over screaming, chilling. I don't do that.
No, you know what? Like from everything that I've heard, it sounds more like she's one of those people who like here's the rats scratching on the inside of the wall, like no that doubt. Kind of a thing where like all of a sudden you realize that somebody's got a tumor in her brain and she ain't right.
I will plead the 5th because I don't want to have this come back in court. So
I will gladly take the stand. 100%.
That would be hilarious if she listened to this.
It really would be.
That'll be in the next letter. I heard your podcast talking about me.
You were bad-mouthing me to that Howard Bender guy, to the Jew. You were bad-mouthing me to a Jew.
As soon as that letter comes, I'm sending it right to you, bro. Like, dude, she was listening.
Oh God, that would seriously, that would make my day because I would have like my buddy who's a lawyer just write a letter to her on letterhead. And
I would appreciate that.
And just be like, we are moments away from filing a harassment suit against you. He's the one harassing me. I would happily take the stand for you, Matt.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
All right. So we've given you some props that you're going to want to play, that you're going to want to tail for NFL. We are still on NFL, are we not?
Yes.
Well, we might be. I don't know. You started talking about John Morant and bad beats and stuff like that. We'll get to some NBA in a second, but let's put a capper here on at least the Super Bowl so that everybody can do that. We've given you our props, and like they were all in there. Like everything that I have money on, with like I said, is there. Oh, I think I also Kenneth Gainwell over 17.5 receiving yards and over 1.5 receptions. That was the other one that I threw sprinkle a little something on too. For that. So I think Chiefs win this game. I think the Chiefs cover the spread, or get with their points. The Chiefs win outright. I'm taking the over. I do think that it's going to be very, very close for the over/under, but I'm just going to tick onto the over because of how strong these offensive units are. That's my final. Adam Ronis, that is my final answer. What's yours?
Yeah, I got the Chiefs winning and the over as well.
Oh, shit. I hate when we're always in lockstep like that. It's always dangerous. Well, you can't. No, it's like it's worse when like 4 of us on the Fantasy Alarm Show all agree on something.
Yeah, you know that bet's going to lose. Whenever you watch the NFL Sunday night and they all pick the same team, you're like, well, they're not winning tonight.
Yeah, right. I mean, immediately go and I bet the other team.
As you should.
To do it. It's, I mean, it's not science. It's not, just major advice. It's just, we go through that when everybody's on a play. It usually is the other way around, and that's what it is. So there you go. All right. So some NFL, boom, in the books. How about we talk a little NBA? Let's talk some hoops real quick. So you gave us your bad beat on John Morant. I'm so sorry. Sorry. I don't know tell me how your prop article did, your prop bet article for NBA did last Friday. Who you're eyeballing, or you probably can't even eyeball anything with the trade deadline on Thursday.
Yeah. Just going to have to wait it out. There's 4 games on Thursday, and then Friday, I believe there's probably a good amount of games. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, wow. Yeah. Oh my God. There's like 13 games on Friday. Wow. Okay. So Yeah, just going to have to see what happens here at the trade deadline, because if trades are made on Thursday, guys can sit out on Friday. So that could open up some value. So, you tread lightly the next couple of days. Let's see what trades are made. Obviously, the big trade happened already with Kyrie Irving going to Dallas. Thank goodness, because I have Kyrie Irving in a fantasy basketball league, and then hearing, he might sit out if he doesn't get traded. I'm like, just get rid of this guy already. So I'm happy he's on Dallas. It's just, and I had tweeted this out the other day. I'm like, we had too much quietness in Brooklyn, because Brooklyn has had drama pretty much the entire time, whether it's Harden being there, Kyrie in the offseason, Kyrie with the tweet earlier in the year, then all the Steve Nash firing or leaving, mutually party ways, whatever you want to say. Then Jacque Vaughn comes in. They go on this ridiculous run. They're playing great basketball. Durant gets hurt. Okay, they lose a couple games. Kyrie has some big games. Then all of a sudden, Kyrie, trade me if you're not going to sign me. And it's like, wait, so you just can't go long in Brooklyn with peace. Like, there has to be some drama. So now we're waiting to see, does Durant demand to be traded? I know a couple of days ago on one of the books, he was minus 200 to be traded. So got to wait and see what happens with that. But I think there'll be some movement. There's a lot of teams in the Western Conference it's kind of open in the Western Conference. So I feel like there's a lot of teams that feel like if they can make a move, that maybe they can move up. And I think that's what Dallas was thinking. They were like, look, we have Luka. It's not been working with what we have. They did take a big hit defensively. Dorian Finney-Smith was their best defender. So I could see them making another move. The Clippers could make a move. The Suns could make a move, because Toronto is the team to keep an eye on. There's a lot of talk that OG Anunoby, Fred VanVleet could be moved. I think they said Pascal Siakam probably not, but Toronto's been one of the disappointing teams in the East, even though they're tied right now for the final spot, but they've really underachieved this year. These teams in the West, I think Golden State maybe, Curry's going to be out multiple weeks. They haven't been great with them. They're terrible on the road, 7-20 on the road. So they'll still be a dangerous team. But yeah, there could be some movement here because really right now, there's only really 4 teams that are completely out of it in the NBA. You got Charlotte, Detroit, Houston, and San Antonio are kind of out. As bad as Orlando has been, they're only 3 games out of that 10th spot. Even the Wizards, too. They're 3 games. No, actually, the Wizards are like right there for that final spot. So a lot of these teams are still in it. Obviously, the Lakers are going to make a
but
push.
I mean, are these teams going anywhere? Did Washington still have Bradley Beal?
Yeah, he's there. Porzingis is there. Kuzma. So, mathematically, they're still in it. I don't know what they'll decide at the trade deadline, but I'm saying that really there's only 4 teams that you could say are definitely out of it right now. Yeah. Okay. I mean, because even the Lakers, they're 3rd worst in the West, but, they still have LeBron, Anthony Davis. There's been rumors that Westbrook could be moved.
Yeah, what did you think of that whole thing? D'Angelo Russell in a 3-team deal. Who's the 3rd team? It was Russell to the Lakers. It was Westbrook to Utah.
Yeah, nothing is complete yet. So that's been rumored about, as we were doing the podcast today. So yeah, we'll see. I mean, the Lakers obviously just they haven't been able to put it together. They should have beat the Thunder when LeBron broke the record. Didn't happen. And now I could see LeBron sitting out at times to rest now that he has the record. And even if they get in, it's like, what are they going to do? Even in a wide open Western Conference, unless they make a big splash. But
well, how many teams realistically? Let's say just as they are right now, no trade deadline to concern with here. As they are right now, how many teams are there that are really legitimate candidates to win it all?
I'd say 6.
That many, huh?
Yeah. Oh, it's more wide open than ever. There's no consensus that team. I mean, Boston has the best record right now, but I think the Bucks might be better than them. I think Philly has a shot. Denver is absolutely legit in the West. No one's going to want to give them credit. They're like, oh, the Western Conference is weak. But we saw Denver make a run a couple years ago when they had Jokic, Jamal Murray, and Michael Porter healthy. And Jamal Murray is balling right now. He is playing great basketball. And if he is that level that he was, because we saw him tear it up in the playoffs a couple years ago, this team can win. They're 26-4 at home too. Not as good on the road, but they're the 1 seed right now by 4.5 over Memphis. Memphis is a 2 seed. I don't buy them. Sacramento is a surprising 3 seed. I don't buy them because they don't play great defense. Clippers, obviously, it comes down. If they have Kawhi and Paul George healthy in the playoffs, they can beat anyone. The Suns are interesting. They just got Devin Booker back. He's going to sit Thursday because they're on a back-to-back. So he'll start to get acclimated. Chris Paul is back. They should get Cameron Payne back soon. So they're starting to get their guys healthy now. They're 8-2 in their last 10. So they have a shot. Golden State, you can't count out because, veteran team, Curry, Thompson, is as bad as it has been for them this year, as disappointing. You can't count them out. And I'd say 3 teams in the East: Celtics, Bucks, Sixers. I would have put the Nets in there, but not the way they constituted now. Cleveland I like a lot, but I think they might be another year away unless they make a significant trade. So I think I'd say 6 teams that have a legit shot, which we cannot say in the NBA many years.
No, you definitely cannot. That's why I even asked the question. Obviously, I'm not a basketball guy. I follow it very, very casually, and I couldn't tell you. But that's why when you said 6, I was like, that many? Because I was expecting you to say 3 or 4.
Yeah, I'd say 6. I mean, the odds probably. I mean, I'm assuming Boston's favored to win. No, I haven't checked in several days. Let's see. Let's see. Come on, man. Where is this? Futures. Celtics are favored at plus 340 in DK. Bucks plus 650. Nuggets plus 700. Clippers plus 800. Sixers plus 900. Grizzlies plus 1100. Warriors plus 1200. And
you have anything sprinkled on any of that?
I would go Bucks if I at plus 650.
I was saying, do you have anything?
No, it's just too wide open this year. But I would, I'm the Bucks. They have the best player to me still in Giannis, who has missed time. Drew Holiday has missed some time. Chris Middleton started the season injured, came back, got hurt again, and has been on a 20 minutes limit since he came back. And They are one game behind Boston. The Bucks have won 8 in a row, 9-10, and they're missing Bobby Portis. So they really haven't had their entire team healthy. Again, I think Boston's good, but I like Milwaukee right now at that price.
Okay. All right. Very nice. Very nice. All right. So keep an eye out, folks, for Adam's article on Friday after the dust settles from the rest of the NBA trade deadline. And you can follow all the news that you want at fantasyalarm.com. All right, from the hardwood to the diamond, let's talk a little MLB. So I just, want to quickly go through the rest of your team, your draft champions team. I actually did not ask you to send it to me because I was talking to your partner about it. He obviously does not listen to this podcast because I asked him about, he messaged me. I messaged him for his birthday. He just had a birthday recently. So I messaged him, to wish him a happy birthday. And then he and I started talking, and I was like, I like that team that you're putting together with Ronis for draft champions. And he was like, oh, he told you about it? All right. Thanks for listening to the podcast, dude. We've only fucking talked about it for the last 2 podcasts. So whatevs, yo, whatevs. But nevertheless, talk about because I think it's very important for a lot of people. I think the draft champions, it's just like you said, it's great for your baseball prep and stuff like that. To me, I love looking at, what you do in the, in like the last 10 to 15 rounds. Because that's all the speculation, and that's all, kind of wondering where your head's at. I could list all the players in here, but it's kind of out of context for a lot of people. So I don't need to say anything. The one thing I did say that I liked a lot, and this kind of went off of your Spencer Torkelson pick in round 20 is your Jesus Sanchez pick. In a 15-teamer to get him that far down, that was that's nice. I mean, listen, there's strong power there from Sanchez, possibly. He's got to pick the batting average up, but I mean, was this his 3rd season now?
Yeah, I believe so.
I was gonna say, did I lose you?
No.
Did I put you to sleep? Did I put you to sleep discussing my conversation?
Playing time is going to be a concern for him because Jazz Chisholm's moving to center. They got Brian De La Cruz, had a really strong finish last year. Avisel Garcia, Soler. But, that's why he's going around 30, Injuries are going to happen. We know that, right? It happens every year. So there is the power potential. And I did have him in leagues last year, and he was disappointing. But there is the power potential. And with injuries occurring, he could get some time. He's still only 25 years old. We saw 13 homers last year and 343 plate appearances. We saw 14 homers in 2021. In only 64 games, which we knew, okay, that's not going to continue. But he did cut down on the strikeout rate last year. It was 31.1% in 2021, 26.8% last year, which is not great. But in baseball nowadays, that's not that awful. Has to start to hit more line drives and fly balls and hit the ball a little bit harder. But yeah, I mean, when you get to these rounds, a lot of times you're usually getting guys who are undervalued, coming off disappointing years, especially in such a sharp room.
Did you feel like you were short on power? Because, I'm looking at this, I see Jesus Aguilar, I see Jesus Sanchez, I see Nolan Jones. I love that Nolan Jones pick that late too. And I see Dom Smith. And then, of course, like down at the very bottom, even Aaron Hicks, you grabbed him. Did you feel like you were short on power and you wanted to take, and those were the guys who were available to you, or what was the thought process behind it?
Nah, just looking for guys that either have potential to get at bats. This late, you're not going to find guys that are starting the season with everyday jobs. So, although I think Dominic Smith's going to play every day, I get it. Washington's not a great lineup, but we've seen Dominic Smith flash before. I know he wasn't good last year, but he didn't really get much of a chance. So I think he might sit against some lefties, but getting an opportunity to play on a Nationals team. That's why I liked him there. Hicks, I mean, it looks like he's going to get playing time for the Yankees. I know he recently said, what did he say? He wants to go 30-30? Yeah, good luck with that. And Brian
try playing.
Yeah, Brian is like, I really don't want to do Hicks. I'm like, dude, he's like, I hate Aaron Hicks. I'm like, it's round 38, bro. And right now he's going to play. And he did have 10 steals last year. I know it's been bad. My God damn, I didn't realize how bad he's been the last 4 years. The average. He was an OBP guy. Still a good walk rate, but man, that looks like an outlier. 27 homers, 11 steals, 2018. Maybe that was a bad pick. Now it's around 38, man. Like, what are you gonna do if he plays?
Yeah, listen, if he plays, then
you'll look back. Like I didn't look at my drafts last year, but a lot of these picks are not going to hit. As I mentioned, the first draft we did last year, we did get Spencer Strider like in the 40-something round. That's really where you get players like these young guys that could find their way to the major league roster. That's really, I think, where you get players that break out. A lot of young players that maybe are starting the season in the minors and could work their way up at some point. That's really, or bounce back guys or relievers that, like Jonathan Hernandez was a good pick. I thought round 36. Maybe he closes for Texas. I know Clark's the favorite, but that's what you're looking for. I don't know. Maybe.
Wait. All right. Wait. So all right. I don't have the whole draft board here. I thought I was seeing a finished product. I didn't even count the rounds.
No.
So yeah, I only have up until you have Aaron Hicks and Nick Allen.
Yeah, we're in round 47.
What rounds were Hicks and Allen?
The clock goes to 2 hours once you hit round 30. This was 4 hour start. Hicks was 38, Allen 39.
Oh, okay. All right. So you've got tell me your last your last 6 picks?
Jack Leiter, Edmundo Sousa, Carl Edwards Jr., Corey Lee, Nate Pearson, Noelvi Marte.
I fucking love that Jack Leiter pick. I don't know if I would love to see him get brought up. That dude's, he's just got, there's so much that he's got. And yeah, wow, damn. What's your take on Leiter as a possible call up this year?
Yeah, that's why he's going this late. So you take a shot and you hope that, he gets an opportunity to come up. And I think, Texas seems to be in a position where they're going to go for it. They spent all this money. They brought in DeGrom. So
is it gonna bother you if DeGrom pitches, makes 30 starts this year?
No, not really. It's tough. Like I want him to do well in a way. Can't take it personal that he left. You
sound like you're getting a little emotional here. Do you?
Look, he's good. He might pitch at Citi Field. Texas comes in, so that'll be interesting. He'll probably get cheered early on, and then once the game starts, he'll get booed. I know Mets fans are upset because he left, but I've always said I can't blame these players. You got to do what's best for you. Take the money, man. I might have to like make some sort of
declaration that I'll do something if DeGrom no hits the Mets in Citi Field as a Texas Ranger.
He's not going 9 innings. Come on.
What time of year is this?
Late August?
Oh, it's late August?
Yeah.
Oh, damn. Yeah, no.
No way. Imagine he pitches he makes 34 starts the next 4 years. That'll hurt. That'll
leave a mark.
That'll definitely leave a mark. He throws 34 starts the next 4 years and wins 2 Cy Youngs. Yeah, that'll hurt.
Yeah. Well, my friend, I have seen many a man leave the New York Yankees for greener pastures on the other side and does well.
Oh, it's happened a lot to the Mets, bro. You know that.
I know. Jason Isringhausen was a staple on one of my fantasy teams because he just kept closing for the Cardinals and was just so good.
Yeah. Thanks for reminding me about Generation K.
What is it? It was Paul Wilson
and Bill Pulsifer.
And Isringhausen.
Yeah.
And what did Wilson and Pulsifer ever do?
Nothing.
Garbage. Garbage. And Isringhausen was hurt the entire time he was with the Mets. And then he goes on for an illustrious career as a closer for the Cardinals.
All right. Are we fucking done?
No, now I want to listen. You can Jay Buhner me if you want. I'm fine with that. I'm okay. It happens.
It just happens to the Mets way more. Jeff Kent leaving the Mets.
Yeah,
the Mets
he's an asshole anyway.
Was freaking good.
He was good. He did great things for the San Francisco Giants until he broke his arm while washing his truck.
Look, washing a truck is very intense work. You got to be careful. You know, the Mets even had two. I know multiple teams had this guy, but Jose Bautista.
Jose Bautista. Yeah. That open stance was really fucking weird. I couldn't deal with his batting stance.
Justin Turner hurts, man.
Justin Turner. That's another good one.
Although I think did someone else did the Pirates have him too before he went to the Dodgers? I feel like there was another team or Baltimore. But I think Baltimore. He was on Baltimore, then the Mets, and then he goes to the Dodgers, and he's a stud.
You Mets fans, such lovable losers. Such lovable losers. Oh, man. All right. So your rankings are up over at fantasyalarm.com as part of the free MLB draft guide. So anybody out there listening, you want rankings? We got rankings, Holmes. Adam Ronis has full rankings. I have my rankings up there. We've got a top 300. I hate the top 300.
Oh, me too. It's the worst, bro.
Can we tell that to, like, for those of you listening here, if you're doing a fantasy baseball draft, do not use the top 300. I like for years, I didn't want to do it. And I would fight with them over at Fantasy Alarm because they were like, you got to do it. Everybody else is doing it. I'm like, we're trying to teach people how to be better drafters, and using a top 300 is garbage. And it drives me absolutely insane, but I had to do it anyway.
I think it's awful because, again, you're trying to accumulate stats and positions come into play. And if someone goes strictly off your list and say they draft like Tommy Edman, okay, not a lot of power, some speed. Now you're like, okay, who's the next highest on the list? And it's a player with a similar profile. I'm trying to think of someone off the top of my head. That's, I don't know, about Romanisi. I don't know, little power, speed. Corbin Carroll, maybe not a lot of power. Like, if you're just going to be like, well, I trust Howard, so I'm just going to go off his list and take the highest ranked player. You're not taking roster construction into account. Now you might have 3 shortstops. So now your middle infielder and utility is clogged up because remember, shortstop's one of the deepest positions. You're in round 8. You already have a shortstop, a middle infielder, and a utility. Now you lose flexibility. You're not paying attention to the categories. You cannot do it. It's so bad. For baseball, it's by far the worst sport to do top 300.
Yeah. It's there for anybody who wants it, but we obviously don't recommend it. But listen, the whole guide is free. So, I mean, this is... I know the people who follow you, Adam, are probably like, with their mouths agape, just being like, really? I don't have to pay for Ronis's rankings this year? I fucking love that. And so it's all right there. fantasyalarm.com/MLB draft guide. I love what we've got going on right now over there. I mean, the guide is absolutely phenomenal. A lot of content is already out, from sleepers, busts, and rookies. Injury reports, ballpark factors, talking about understanding projections and category targets. I'm going to have an ADP article coming out soon. Like I said, I'm going to bring back the mock draft army. Adam Ronis's high stakes fantasy baseball articles, all live on the site right now. And, full DFS stuff in there. And then we've got each position has an author doing content specific to that position, and it's just some absolute fantastic stuff that we've got out there, and you guys should definitely take advantage of it. fantasyalarm.com/MLB draft guide. Well, all right, Adam. I think we've entertained and educated the masses long enough here for today. Any big Super Bowl plans for you? You got a Super Bowl party? Big like, bingo card for Super Bowl? Are you in on watching the commercials? What's up?
Nah, no big plans this year.
You want to come over here?
Sure. You're good. Can I expense it?
I mean, I'll just approve it. I don't know if they'll go for it, but I'll just fucking approve it. No problem.
Right. I'll see you.
Right. My wife's already planned. She's planning a really like a big spread, which, she was all mad at me. It's so funny, right? I'm going, let's get out of here right now. But yet, let me drone on with this last story here. Last Thanksgiving, I've got to sit there and I've got to watch the games, and we don't have, other plans to go anywhere else. And so I just kind of thought that, my wife was just going to do what she usually does, roll out like a bunch of appetizers during the day while I'm watching the games. And then we do like our little, baby Thanksgiving dinner. No, what does she do? She like books a bunch of dog walking gigs. She's out, meeting another friend of hers. And the next thing I know, I'm sitting here on Thanksgiving watching these fucking games with nothing in the fucking house to eat. I was pissed off, man. And so I've kind of like laid that out there. It's been a sticking point for me right now. So she knows that she's got to step up her game for the Super Bowl. And I'd like for you, Adam, to be a part of it.
Likely not going to happen, but I appreciate the invitation.
All right, fine, fuck you. I don't want you to come over anyway.
Yeah, you're just a little far. That's why. If you were like local, I'd definitely be there.
Bob, dude, I'm so worth it, though. I'm so worth it. Ask all those hot girls on Instagram who follow me now.
I will.
Ask Tracy XXX. She'll tell you.
She has not responded to my DMs.
Oh, she is not? Well,
I will tell you this from experience. When I have DM'd women on Instagram, 90% of them don't even read the message.
Yeah, I didn't even know that there was messaging on Instagram for the longest time.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, it's again.
That's how I met this girl that I'm talking to now.
You met her on Instagram? You met her on the gram?
No, so on a dating site, she had put her Instagram handle in the profile. So I said, you know what, let me just DM her. And I did, and she answered.
Huh. Very interesting. Very interesting.
But the other times I've done that, 90%, they don't even read it, because you can see on Instagram if your message has been read, and they must get so many, because, I go after really good looking women, that they probably get so many that it just gets lost.
Maybe that's what these porn bots are all upset with me, because I don't even like respond to their messages.
Oh yeah, it's easy to tell when stuff is fake. It's so funny.
But Tracy Tracy TRACI.
No, she's real.
She's
is
real,
real,
right?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. All right. Good. I feel much better now. All right. Well, that's going to do it for us, everybody. Big thank you as always for liking and subscribing. And enjoy the Super Bowl. Be smart with your bets. Have a little fun. Again, fantasyalarm.com/big game is a free contest to jump into. Why wouldn't you do that? Winner gets $250. Second place gets a free year subscription at Fantasy Alarm. Third place, a